Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And before we get into this video, please subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any more of my content. And also like this video before we jump into it. And this video is a preview to Norwich's game versus Nottingham Forest at the City Ground tomorrow night. Can Norwich extend their winning run to 9 wins on the bounce? It would be incredible. Is Pukki going to score again? All these questions I'll be answering in this video. But for me, tomorrow, one thing that has to change is that Kieran Dowell has to start. And there was a stat put out by Norwich City themselves on Twitter that I saw today that although Kieran Dowell only played half an hour of the game, he still registered more shots than any other player on the field. That includes the likes of Teemu Pukki and Emi Buendia and Todd Cantwell. And for me, that just says the guy is building his confidence. He's becoming more brave and courageous in his decision-making and his ability. And he does warrant a start. Obviously, Kieran Dowell was injured very early on in the season, and we didn't really see too much of him after that. And after when he came back from his injury in December, I think he's only started the one game since he was back from injury. I think that was against Watford, and hasn't started since then. So hasn't really started a game for Norwich since the end of 2020. So it's been a long time, and he does deserve a start for me. I think every Norwich fan will agree with me that Lucas Rupp wasn't up to standard. I love Lucas Rupp as much as anyone else, but you know, if a player has a bad game, you've got to look at yourselves and look at the other options we've got. And obviously that number 10 position has got so many options, and it's a headache that Farke wants to have with all these players available. You know, Mario Vrancic, Lucas Rupp, Kieran Dowell, Marco Stiepermann, all now seemingly to be available in that position. So yeah, it is a good headache to have. And for me, Kieran Dowell deserves to start against Nottingham Forest. I'm intrigued to see what he can do. Like I said with Lucas Rupp, I wanted to see more of him. I also want to see more of Kieran Dowell. Because as Norwich fans, we haven't actually seen barely anything of him. So yeah, be interesting to see what he can do. But I wouldn't make any other changes apart from that. I think defensively we were solid enough against Sheffield Wednesday. Midfield is class, and that front three is excellent. I think it's just that 10 position that I don't think Norwich have really got right this season. I think the last time we went up, we had that spot on with Marco Stiepermann, but I think this season we've seen multiple players play in that number 10 position. I don't think we actually saw Lucas Rupp play in that number 10 position till that Luton game. So we are seeing Farke still try out things, and then hopefully things click for Kieran Dowell and we can have a nice run in now to the end of the season with a solid number 10 in place, and don't really have to change too much again. I think that the injury hit that we did have earlier in the season maybe did hinder that number 10 spot on who we were actually going to play there. But yeah, like I say, Kieran Dowell has to start this game, has to. And like Farke said, there's no, in his pre-match presser, there's no new injuries, which is good. Obviously the squad's going to be fairly depleted, you know, playing on a Sunday then going to a Wednesday, both away games. So the squad might maybe slightly depleted. So we may see a few changes. I don't think we will. Farke doesn't really like to change up his squad unless he is really forced into that change. But obviously Adam Idah is set to be out longer than what we expected. Hernia problems, so it could be, from what I've read, 2 to 5 weeks with an operation seemingly to take place soon for him, which is gutting because Adam Idah, you know, he's scored 2 goals this season. He is starting to put his name about. Obviously, he's had a few Republic of Ireland call-ups, but you know, we want to see more of Adam Idah. But yeah, I guess we won't be. But hopefully, you know, comes back to towards the end of the season and he can put his trademark on the game. You know, as a poacher and as an all-round striker, because you know, I'm pretty sure all Norwich fans do love him and are all intrigued to see what else he can do. But let's go into my predicted 11 going into tomorrow's game. Fairly unchanged. Tim Krul in goal We're starting with Ben Gibson and Grant Hanley at centre-half, Max Aarons at right-back with Dimitris Giannoulis at left-back, Oliver Skipp and Kenny McLean as the two holding midfielders. I don't think there's a better midfield partnership in this division. If I'm perfectly honest with you, I think Kenny McLean's really come into his own since the start of 2021, and Oliver Skipp has just been that consistent, formidable force in that midfield for Norwich City this season. And he's been excellent, and I would genuinely love to see him back on loan at Norwich City next season, which I've seen a few rumours going about here and there, and I'm pretty sure all Norwich fans would love to see him back at Carrow Road next season. Hopefully we can be there and see him perform a masterclass in the Premier League with us. Then we go into that 10 position. Like I said, I want to see Kieran Dowell start. I want to see what he can offer. Did very, very well in the last 30 minutes against Sheffield Wednesday. Let's put him in that starting 11. He's earned it, and let's see what he can do. And the front three is unchanged for me. Obviously, Campbell had a very poor first start, but second half was the complete opposite and was absolutely fantastic. Scored that amazing goal, which is a contender for goal of the season for Norwich City. Emi Buendia, he's Messi's idol. He's fantastic, best player in this division. I've said this time and time again. I don't think anyone comes close to him. I think it was always going to be this battle between Ivan Toney and Emi Buendia. But obviously, we look at the big games coming up head-to-head, especially in that recent game against Brentford, where Buendia scored that incredible goal, and Ivan Toney didn't have a sniff. And for me, it's just those players turning up in big games at big points in the season that kind of differentiate whether they get that title as player of the season or not. And Emi Buendia definitely warrants it after that performance, and that kind of certified it for me. So I'll say it time and time again, Emi Buendia is the best player in this division. And again, we'll hope for another masterclass from him tomorrow. And of course, it is the man on form going to be starting up front for Norwich, I'd imagine. Teemu Pukki, 10 goals in 8 games. Hopefully he can add to that amazing run of form he is on, because he seems unstoppable at the minute. Up to 20 or 21 league goals this season. I think it's 21 league goals. Yeah, 21 league goals this season now for Teemu Pukki. Really, really hoping he can add to that, because I'm absolutely loving watching the Finnish man just score goals for fun again. I think it is a breath of fresh air for Norwich, and it's a breath of fresh air that we have previously been used to with 2 seasons back. And it's good to finally have that breath of fresh air back again. It's a bit of a mouthful, a bit of a tongue twister that. But like I said, that is my predicted 11 and my preview going into tomorrow's game against Nottingham Forest. And obviously then we have Blackburn at Carrow Road on Saturday. 2 difficult games. Don't get me wrong, Nottingham Forest aren't having the greatest of seasons, but we cannot underestimate them. They do have quality players. You look at Lyle Taylor, Sammy Amiobi, they've still got, I believe Lewis Graben is still there, and they do have a very, very good, on paper, within terms of individuals, Nottingham Forest do have a very, very good squad. And this game isn't going to be a walkover. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Norwich win in this game. I'm going to go with Teemu Pukki getting a brace and Emi Buendia to get an assist. I think defensively, after that little wobble against Sheffield Wednesday, I think we'll come back stronger and we'll be more defensively aware of people around us, especially when Jordan Rhodes isn't playing against us this time. But hopefully, Lewis Graben, if he does play for them still, isn't playing, and hopefully doesn't notch one in against us. We do know our former players do love to do that. But like I say, guys, if you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any more of my videos. And also go follow my socials while you're at it. And I shall see you guys next time.